Hi, welcome. I'm Kim from Appalachian Sock Company, and this is my world. A little bit of background. I have been working on hand-dyed yarns, spinning, knitting, and teaching since 2007. I moved here in 2012 from Gettysburg, and I still maintain a lot of the reenactors with their socks. So if you want to take a walk with me, this is my vintage sock knitting machine. It is from the early 1900s. My husband designs the travelers, and they are made to break down with your work on, fold up, and it has a handle on the back side, so it's like a luggage.
So that's this whole table here.
Yeah, this is called a traveler. My husband does those.
Oh, that's neat.
Everything folds in. You don't have to tear it apart. So I am an indie dyer. I put together kits. I do the yarns that I carry are fingering. I have a sock weight yarn, DK, and I am bringing in a BFL worsted weight. A BFL nylon worsted weight. It started as just sock weight, but as I've grown, I try to meet customer needs. I have a small, quaint shop, but it serves me well.
It's well stocked.
It is well stocked. So I have kits that I've put together. This is my fingering. So lots of colors with fingering. This is a stock weight yarn. It's a little bit heavier. I would almost say more sport, but I identify it as a stock weight. I have a new line of, this is Tonal Swink, and it's merino and lurex. And then this year I added self-striping. So my husband designed this one. It's patriotic. That's actually Woman of Wonder.
Ah,
because you can't
use the right title. Yeah.
And then that's all sorts of licorice. I offer every year an Advent kit.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a shawl that you actually knit. You open a pack every day.
Mm-hmm.
And you knit. Comes.
Uh-huh.
And I do locks. My husband makes the drop spindles. This is my show-stopping shawl. It is a Stephen West design. My first knitting project. This is a Stephen West. It is Starburst.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a crochet pattern. It is called Hotel of Bees.
Are these project bags over here?
Yes, they are. I have project bags. They snap. Oh, I'll just leave it.
And you have like little notions bags and everything.
I have little notion bags. This is my DK, and I have roving for spinners. Homemade soap. And progress markers or charms. And I offer a little soap kit that you can fill has the directions in it. Like doing it with young kids, getting involved with fiber.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have my tree of goodies. Here's the yarn base I'm going to be carrying. I like it. I feel how soft it is.
Is that worsted?
Uh-huh.
We are fondling the yarn. Oh, that is soft.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm
I've got to get your Christmas balls up here because those are so cool looking.
Are they crocheted?
They are actually done on the machine.
Ooh.
Last year, my Christmas gift to the sock knitting community, the CSMs, is I did a live video on how to make Christmas ornaments. So this year, I'm going to probably do this one. I like it. It's a swirled. So you can see how it swirls around. So this is the one I'll probably do for my gift. Isn't that pretty?
Neat.
And then this is like my work area.
Mm-hmm.
And I have some really cool. This is some of my self-striping.
This.
Isn't that fun?
I like those little like petals coming off of it. It's cute.
Mm-hmm.
My boy loves these.
Uh-huh.
He wears them. You know, it's one of them he'll go for is
Uh-huh.
one
They
that
look like Peter Pan socks or something.
I call him my Joker.
Oh, because the little,
Okay.
yeah.
That's her. Mm-hmm.
I make DVDs and sell them online.
Uh-huh.
And I created Animal Nation. It's a shark sock.
Ooh.
It's right here.
Neat.
Oh, okay.
I made it for my grandsons, and it wasn't a good idea. They really thought a shark was eating their
Oh,
leg.
dear.
So these are patterns that you can do on the sock machines. Just practice.
So this is your sock machine, and you said it's from the turn of the century?
Yes.
And you were mentioning you have two different size cylinders that can go on here for stitches?
I have 3. I
Uh-huh.
have a 54, which I hardly ever use. A 64 that I had machined
Mm-hmm.
because they didn't make 64 cylinders back in the 18 and early 1900s. So I had that machine new, and then my 72. The 64 I like to use for, smaller feet. It's closest to hand knitting.
Mm-hmm.
But when I am doing men's socks, the 72 works much better.
Mm-hmm.
And this actually does the stockinette. I'm going to try to get a heel done so you can see how
So you
it's
can do the
done.
heel right on the machine?
Right on the machine.
Oh,
the only
okay.
thing that you need to do is close the toes.
Mm-hmm.
And, I just do in through the old and out through the new. Kind of like Christmas candy ribbon. And then this is the ripper.
So these are attachments you put onto the machine when you get to those portions.
Transfer the stitches, and then as it spins around, it will shoot the needle out, grab your yarn, and pull it back in.
Oh, okay. Let me get real close so that can be...
Oh, why is it not doing it? So here's the ripper. You can see it come out, and we grab the yarn, go back in, and it would make a stitch. So I am going to actually do a leg.
Hmm.
And if you want to ask me some questions while I'm doing it,
Oh, okay.
I have a little bit of modern with my antique.
Oh, okay.
And
That
this is
counts
a
your
row
rows.
counter.
I was guessing that might be what that is. How long does it take you to make a sock? On average.
About 20 minutes, 25
Really?
minutes.
Wow. So I guess it all depends on how fast you crank the...
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I mean, just doing that little bit,
I'm going to get close so we can watch this happening too.
Oh my goodness.
That is wild. I'm going to film from looking...
Second.
I'm going to...
Yeah, if you
looking down on it
look
too.
down.
I can see the ribbing down inside.
That is sound of a happy machine.
So where do you find machines that are that old that are still functioning?
My husband and I have like feelers out. We restore them and
Oh,
teach
okay.
people how to use them. So we have feelers out. People will contact us. They have the
Mhm.
machine that's been in their attic or whatever, and are we interested? And most of the time I say yes. Right
Mhm.
now we're working on an 1869 Bickford that will be for sale.
Huh.
Um,
I mean, are there new, do they still make new ones at this
there
time?
are actually two companies in the United States that
Mhm.
are manufacturing.
Mhm.
Massachusetts has Lamb Knitting Company.
Mhm.
They brought back the Tuttle, which is a family. It was in the family. Her great grandfather, I believe, manufactured the Tuttle, and they have brought it back. That is an LT 150. So it was a 150-year anniversary for Lamb Knitting. They do a lot of knitting for medical, like the real tiny tubing and stuff like that they
Mhm.
use. So it's been a challenge for them. It's a nice machine. If I had the money,
Mhm.
it would be the next. Doesn't travel well. That is the downfall with it, is that it's more of a stationary. And then in Missouri, you have Erlbacher Gerhardt and Pee Wee, who is no longer with us, started manufacturing, bought the copyright from the family, and started manufacturing the Erlbacher. They have Speedster and a Bumblebee. A Bumblebee does have it. So they have two different machines that they offer,
Mhm.
and that's in Missouri. So we do have two companies that are machining. In Canada, Dave Lord does one very similar to mine.
Mhm.
He has a 2-year wait period
Mm.
because I think he has a small shop. This is where I got my cylinder from him. And then in the UK, they're doing the New Zealand NZAC, which is New Zealand NZAC is an auto knitter, similar to that.
Mhm. But you prefer the vintage ones.
I love the vintage.
They must have been made very well to hang out that long.
The Gerhardts were manufactured in Clearfield, Pennsylvania. So they were home to, PA. It's interesting, when you go back and you look at the history of the sock machines.
Mm-hmm. Very cool.
Yeah.
You're working on doing a sock a day.
Yes, I am.
What prompted you to come up with that idea?
I actually, Bethany Accessory is the head chairperson, the boss at Shenandoah Valley Fiber Festival, and she challenged me. I knew somebody else had done it who is,
Mhm.
a personal friend, and Bethany said, "Why aren't you doing it?" And I said, "Okay, I'll do it."
Uh, so, are you finding it difficult to
It's part of my business.
right? So it's
I have never had socks for sale. This is like the first time. And it's because instead of just doing the Civil War reenactment, I'm adding commercial yarns for people who don't want to knit socks. And I also offer, if you have sock yarn and you don't want to knit, you can send it to me. It's $20 for a pair of socks. And I send them back. And this is really cool. I'll show you. I got this goodie box in the mail. $20 bills in the bags. It's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
I opened it up. I was like, "Oh, wow, that's cool."
So they want socks out of all
Yeah.
of these different skeins.
And
Oh, okay.
So when they do it, they tell me what it's for and the size, male or female, and shoe size. This was actually all knit on the machine. No toe closing or anything. And this is, a pattern that I designed on my hand-dyed yarns.
So you do one half of it by going back and forth halfway around, and then you turn. Oh, okay.
You do a slip stitch on each row, and then when you come back to do the top half of the sock, you catch those, and it just puts a nice seam on it.
Oh, okay. Now, do you just use sock or fingering weight, or can the machines do thicker sock thicker yarn than that?
This is sport. And it's 100% wool. It's nature spun sport. It's what I use for all my reenactment. They didn't have fingering.
Right.
Or nylon blend.
No nylon. So,
right.
I try to keep it as close to tradition as possible. And these machines were around during the Civil War. There's an article about 2 women that snuck up from the South and were caught trying to take sock machine back down so they could knit them for their... The northeastern part of the United States was where the majority of the sock machines were.
We went on vacation a few years ago to Connecticut River Valley, where a lot of the, like Lowell, Massachusetts, and where all of the mills were. My husband's family was in North Carolina, and they worked in the hosiery mills that were down there and did a lot of the knitting and stuff with the machines.
They have cylinders that actually are small enough that they can do hosiery. I don't want to do that. So the question
What is that you have?
This is a buckle. This is my setup. This is modern. The original ones are these wires that come out, and you wrap everything and start knitting, your machine knitting. I use a setup basket, my waist yarn, so that when I take it apart,
Oh, okay. When you take it off of the So that thing that's hanging down kind of is like a weight. It kind of holds the yarn, pulls it down through the cylinder?
Actually, the weights are here.
Oh, okay.
They're heavy.
Yeah.
They hurt your toes if you drop them on it.
So you just disconnect it from that when the sock is finished then? Oh, that's neat. That's where it disconnects.
So that's a cuff.
Mm-hmm. And this is a 2x2 cuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's got nice stretch. I really like this. I do an E-wrap, and somebody commented on my 365, how do you do it? So I put it on a video. This is how I do it. And they were like, that seems like a lot of work. And I'm like, are you kidding me? It takes, 3 extra minutes? And, hand knit a pair.
Yeah. Like I said, that E-wrap gives it a nice finished edge.
Mm-hmm. I like the E-wrap.
Yeah, because that's how the knitting machine my mother had would start you with an E-wrap. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's something that I've just now, probably in the last 6 months, started doing the E-wrap with the 2x2 ribbon. Mm-hmm. Once I got my 64 cylinder. So I've knit the leg while we were talking, and I'm ready to do the heel.
Oh, okay.
So to make a heel, you take half your needles out of fork, put a heel spring on, and I'm a hands girl. I don't use the weights that some people do for socks.
So you're doing almost like a German short row.
It is a short row.
Oh, okay.
So I'm in a short row. And you see I have markings on my cylinder. Gives me my starting point and stopping point.
So how many years have you been doing the knitting machines?
The knitting machines I have been doing since 2007. Mm-hmm. We were camping, and my husband brought me 2 in a box. And I waited 3 weeks for him to get them cleaned up and ready. And after 3 weeks, I tore it apart. And put it back together. When they sold it to us, they thought it was one machine. It was actually 2 Gearharts.
So are you self-taught with machine knitting?
Yes, I am.
Oh, wow. I was going to ask that. I was wondering if there was classes that you take to learn how. Well, you teach classes how to do it now.
Yeah, I've gone as far as Massachusetts, Missouri. So I've been the central, north, and northern part of the United States teaching. And I've had a couple foreigners come and take workshops. And I've also done a video with someone in Juneau, Alaska.
Wow.
So
now do you have a podcast of your own?
I don't. I want to start one, but I don't know where to begin. Mm-hmm.
But you've done videos of some of your things. Is there a place people can find those, or?
I have a website. It's Appalachian.company, and they are available on my e-commerce site.
Oh, okay. I will put the information for your shop and everything up at the end of the video, so that way people can contact you if they're interested in different things. And
I started knitting because I had Lyme's. So there is the heel.
Cool. Oh, yeah. And then from there you just do the foot.
The foot.
That is neat. So with your dyeing, what kind of dyes do you use? Acid dyes?
For selling commercially, I use acid dyes,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm dabbling with indigo,
Mm-hmm.
which it actually pulls a lot of colors. So
it's not just blue.
Yeah.
Indigo is not just blue. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, every time you, it's based on like time and how many like dunks you would do
Mm-hmm.
for the indigo. It will give you different shades and colors.
Are you self-taught with the dyeing as well?
Yes, I am.
Oh, wow. And you have an advent calendar? We were talking about this on the way up the road.
Yes.
So what is your advent calendar composed of? Are they like 10-gram or 20-gram balls?
They're 20-gram hanks. So this year for the advent, I offered the 4 seasons. So I have color swatches. This is the one that I did for me. It's backwards. There you go. And every day from December 1st to December 25th, you open I have gift bags that are sealed and they have the day. So every day you open your little sack and you continue with your pattern. There are a couple patterns out, and I just found one for crocheting as well.
That's good to know because we have lots of crocheters that watch.
Yeah.
So how far in advance do people need to order your advent calendar?
Oh, I still have time to get them out before December 1st.
Okay.
I'm pretty flexible. I try to make sure my customers are happy.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that is going the extra mile. But the advent comes with a project bag that I make. That's a Christmassy project bag. It has a progress marker, so every day you can see where you're progressing, and then it has one of my individual stitch markers. I believe the stitch marker has a sheet. Okay. The one has a Christmas ornament, and then the other one is a sheet.
Okay. How much do you charge for your advent calendar?
For shipping, it's $170, and you have a choice between fingering with sparkles, or a DK weight.
Mm-hmm. So now the fiber that you dye here in the shop, is this stuff you've spun yourself, or do you already buy it?
If I spin for myself, I keep it.
Oh, okay. I understand that. It's very time consuming.
It's commercial. I do have some friends who have farms, so I try to support the
local spinners.
Absolutely.
Great.
I have a friend, Katrina, in Pennsylvania.
Oh.
Who has a farm, and she has BFL in Wensleydale. So a lot of my locks that you see are from her farm. And I have this is Pennsylvania. It's 100%. But it's good. I can feel. It's got a nice twist to it, nice feel.
Let me get this close so I can see the twist. There we go. That's good.
And she has a farmhouse open. And what is her? I think her address is York, PA, or Dillsburg. It might be. It's in between there. Dover.
Okay.
She's in Dover. So this is hers, and she has a farmhouse. She teaches.
Okay.
Has knitting there. So yes, I like to support U.S. Everything. All the yarns are from the United States.
And look how nicely you did that. Every time I try doing it, it looks like a jumbled up disaster.
So I actually have a twister my husband made this year because he had to twist some up and he couldn't do it. So he made me a twister. It's in the house.
That still looks so much better than what mine turns out as. Can people buy from you online through your website?
Yes.
Okay, so
they can buy through the website, or they can do a FaceTime, and I can walk them through the shop, and they can pick what they like.
Hi, this is Kim asking Kim a question. Kim, how do you know when the sock is the right size? So, so you're knitting a size 11 or 12 sock.
I'm doing an 11.
How do you know?
Because I have done so many, I know that an 11 and a half or 12, it measures 11.2 inches. Usually with the first sock, I'll measure with the ruler. And I just take it, put it in, and I still give myself 1 1/4 inches, like hand knitting you would do for your toe.
For toe.
And so
you're measuring to the you're measuring to the heel. Okay.
From the back of the heel, and I need to go a little bit more. Usually, see, I've done this so long. I mean, it's usually about 83 for the size 12, so 83 rows.
Do you count? Oh, yeah, you have a row count.
Yeah, I have.
So that's counting.
So that's 83.
Is that just a regular ruler, or is that
it's a regular ruler. I use my sewing ruler. It's set on 1 inch, so that when I'm doing, I can measure how many stitches per inch I get, how many rows. I like to keep it as tight as I can because for the wear.
So do you have to do the toes by hand then, or?
No, I don't. I'm gonna do a toe right now.
Okay.
Toes are easier than heels, so I hope it's easier. Same. Ouch. I'll make you bleed. See, I shouldn't. Let me put.
So it's almost similar to how you did the short rows for the heel.
For the decrease, it's the same way as you do for your heel.
And then you just have to do this on both sides this time, though, right?
No.
To decrease on both sides for the heel?
No. You Kitchener. I'll add waist so you'll see how I when you do your toe increase, you put 2 down the first time. I will tell you, when I teach the girls that I teach, I show them the heel forks that you can use. I also show them with a piece of yarn, you can take it up through, take your corner for your heel, and you can pull down underneath. I'm just hands. I think a lot of it is because if my hand is in there and something happens, I can fix it. Stop it.
You probably have just a feel for what's going on better.
I can feel if I miss a stitch. Absolutely. my needles back. So I repurpose my yarn until I can't use it anymore. I don't. It's a waste yarn. But so traditionally what I would do next is I would start an E-wrap. But I'm going to give you the opportunity, like both of you.
Oh, thank you.
Crank on the machine and see. Just feel it.
So you have a monthly yarn club?
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay. What kind of yarn? I mean, what weight of yarn is it?
It's either fingering or DK. You can choose. And then it's a special color that I just pick. It's a surprise. And as you can see, I love color. If you don't like a color, absolutely, I can't stand the color yellow. Then you just send me a message, and I make sure that you don't get yellow.
Oh, okay.
So I tried.
Can they find that on your website, your monthly sock?
I think that it is on the website.
Oh, okay.
It will be.
Okay. If not, they can contact you.
Yeah, well, it will be. I'll do it. I'll make sure that it's on there.
And how
going to...
do I crank this direction? Okay.
Oh, nice. Fast. A lot faster than when I hand it. Oh, here comes a new pattern. Pretty.
Yeah, I think that's big enough for a heavy right there.
It's neat to see the
And I'll show you.
pattern that the yarn makes.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, and if you come to my shop,
winter colors.
if anybody wants to come to the shop and make themselves a headband,
Well, we thank you for doing the sock tutorial here and
that's my
demonstrating
pleasure.
your machines.